Good evening and welcome to the Addition Financial webinar on our High School Branches program. Our speakers tonight, Alicia Kalish and Taylor Kowalczyk, are sharing their expertise from our high school and college branches department. Feel free to type your questions in the chat box and we will answer them during our Q&A session towards the end of the presentation. And now I'll hand it over to Alicia.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today as we share more about our high school branch program. So today's topics are going to cover the history of our program, which schools participate, the requirements to becoming a student teller, in addition to all the skills that is learned, the opportunities, the responsibilities that our student tellers have, and also just dive into a little bit of our products and services.
All right, my name's Taylor. I'm going to go over our program history a little bit. So in an effort to increase financial literacy among high school students, very important, that's how our high school branch program was launched in 2008. The program consists of opening and operating a fully functioning credit union branch inside a high school. It's managed daily by students, so it's completely student run. They are tellers, they actively open accounts and things like that. So that is who you see when you walk into your local branch.
And the students, they also go through a training. So when school begins in the fall, we facilitate a training to the students so that they are left on their own when we're done and they completely manage the high school branch program.
This unique opportunity provides real life work experience in the financial industry. Students learn to open accounts, perform transactions, and by transaction, that includes handling cash, so taking it in. If you're looking to take money out of your account, you have some checks you received, they can do that for you at your local high school branch. They even provide member service to every person that enters their doors. So if you're just looking for some more information after you hear from us today, you can visit them when school starts and they can provide some more details to you.
And typically at the high school branches too, their members consist of the students that attend the school, the faculty and staff. So at any time, anyone that enters a branch, they provide that service to them. All right, so the list of schools that we have our branch in, we currently have 10 high school branches scattered throughout Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties. So we're in 3 counties here in Central Florida. And here's a list of our schools. With Taylor mentioned the 2008 when we opened our first branch, it was at Timber Creek. So for all of the Orange County schools, there's Timber Creek High School, Boone, Oak Ridge, Colonial, Ocoee, and Edgewater. For Seminole County, we have Lake Brantley and Lake Howell, and Osceola County, Point Siena, and St. Cloud High School.
So some of you attending this might see Edgewater and say, hey, I go there. I haven't seen a branch, and I know it says 2020. But due to the pandemic, we were unable to open that branch last year, but it will be opening at that high school this year. We are so excited to get on board with Edgewater and welcome all the new students.
Yeah, and all of our high school branches are really a mini replica of our full service branches. So, if you attend one of these schools, please go in and take a look. I mean, it's very similar to our full service branches.
We have some requirements to become a student teller and be part of our program. So no, this is not offered to all students all the time. You have to attend one of the high schools, of course. You must have room in your schedule to select the course as an elective. And depending on what school you attend, there may be required prerequisite courses. For example, some schools have the Academy of Finance program. So your freshman year, you may have to take a certain class. And once you're in that program, next step would be applying to be part of the credit union. We do require an actual application. You need to attach your resume, just like any other job. We contact you and we set up an interview, and then we do conduct that interview, usually in person. This past year, it's been virtual, but we ask you a lot of questions and you get that hands-on experience. And this is great, especially if you've never had a job before. So we really like to just use this opportunity to have that experience with us. You have to have good grades and attendance. We do look to principals, coordinators, and other faculty and staff members at the school to give us feedback on how well you do there. So we don't just allow anyone in the program. We do look at all things from your school.
Yeah, and also going back to the interview process, the high school branch program, we wanted to make sure that all the applicants and all the interns that are a part of the program experiences the full process of obtaining a job. So even like if you're going out to find a job elsewhere and you're just getting like a part-time work, this program will give you that opportunity to kind of practice with us first, where, you submit the app, you get dressed up and you have the interview, that one-on-one, and you talk about your resume. So we really help to build your skills and your confidence as well when it comes to the interview process. And attendance is key. I know you mentioned the good grades and attendance. Attendance is very important. Right. So the skills learned during the program, there's so much that our tellers walk away with. One of the first things is member service. Addition Financial prides ourselves on member service. So we definitely make this our first attempt always to ensure that we're providing good quality service to all of our members. We teach our student tellers how to perform good member service. We role play a lot during training, and we're also there and we shadow just to ensure that everything is operating properly. Another skill that's learned is financial literacy. So how to use financial products and what are the requirements to do so. And we'll talk a little bit more about the financial products later for the high school accounts. But really, we go into depth. I mean, even if it's like, how do I use my debit card, or what is a savings or checking account? And we really, make the effort to ensure that our student tellers understand accounts. Marketing is another skill. So how to share knowledge and benefits to gain new membership. And this photo here, you'll see a few student tellers here with a table and some promo items on them. This is one of the events that we do at all the schools where we will set up a table and we will open up and have prizes for everyone to come over, and we'll just talk about Addition Financial. We'll talk about our program, talk about high school accounts, and why it's so beneficial for you to get an account now while you're in high school. Some other skills that are learned are cash handling, professional conduct. Those go hand in hand, and cash handling is not just counting the money. There's a lot more involved in that too, and how to count, and there's more in there. Professional conduct, making sure that when you're speaking to either a member or even your team member, your fellow student teller, that you're being professional in your responses and you're talking to everyone as you would like to be responded to. Communication is a really big one. When we talk about communication, if you're a student, you have all these other classes. You have 6 other classes that you're taking in addition to this one. The benefit of this is that it's an internship that's done while you're on campus at school, so you never have to leave school to do your internship. But communication is so important because you're doing your other courses and then you come here where you're working as an intern, and there's a lot that goes into keeping up with your emails. You have a company email and just keeping up with all that's flowing with the organization. You also learn problem solving and accountability, which goes hand in hand with a lot of teamwork too.
What's awesome about working for us or interning for us as well is you're not just communicating with your high school team, you're communicating with people from our headquarters location here in Lake Mary. My team, for example, is full support for the high school branches. There are times where students have to learn that, hey, I forgot this information or this is going on with the computer, and reach out to other departments. So really building that confidence to talk to people about what's going on, ask for help is most important. So I know you mentioned communication. I really like to highlight and make sure that everyone understands, yes, this is a job, but we're also here for you and we want you to learn and we want to help you succeed and understand what you're doing. So it's okay to make mistakes. This may be everyone's first time having job experience, and we're really just here to support you and have you learn and grow into more opportunities after.
Yeah, and Taylor, you touched on something that made me remember a story about communication. I remember a few years ago at one of our high school branches, there was a student who was extremely shy. He would only speak to you if you spoke to him. Even through training, it was like, hey, Michael, or, and he'll talk, and if it's not you speaking to him, he won't speak to you. And then when you look at how much he's developed throughout the school year, And by the end of the school year, he was calling. He was like, hey, I have an amazing idea of what we can do. Or, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Like his skill level and communication really increased a lot just by doing this on a day-to-day basis.
I love when that happens because the students get excited about the differences they recognize in themselves too. So not only do we see it, they see it and they build that confidence, and it's awesome to watch.
Absolutely.
So we have some other opportunities during summer and after graduation. So not only are you considered an intern during the school year while you attend school, we do offer one paid summer internship per high school branch that we have. So one student per branch is chosen to work at a local branch or the Lake Mary offices for a specific department. So you could be assisting doing teller things. You could be assisting back office in lending or with my department, for example. So that's a cool opportunity, and that is paid. We also have senior tellers only scholarship opportunities. So when you're a senior and you're part of our program, you can apply to maybe get some money towards school. Sometimes it's nice to have that extra help, and we're here to do it and support you in all those ways. We have part-time and full-time job opportunities upon graduation. So depending on what you choose to do when you get out of high school, your flexibility in your schedule and what's available in your area, my team's here for you. You reach out to us to get more details regarding positions, and we see what a good fit is for you. And you may go through an interview process to work at a regular branch once you graduate.
Yeah, and not just only a branch. We've had a past student intern that's working in a back office department now, a couple of them. And actually, Taylor, you came from our high school branch program.
I am, like Brantley High School a long time ago.
When you look at the makeup of Addition Financial right now and our staff, we do have quite a bit of past student tellers that are now full-time employees that work with us. So a lot of students choose to make this a career choice. Some of them will apply to a part-time position while they're attending college, and we welcome that. And by the time they're ready to apply for these opportunities after graduation, they already know our system, they know our culture. So it really gives you a competitive edge when you reach out for these opportunities.
So that leads me into some other opportunities during the school year. So we covered after graduation, we covered during summer. Most students are considered an unpaid intern during the school year, but there are 2 paid positions during the school year, which is student head teller positions, with the exception of one other high school that we have. They have block scheduling, so we do have a couple more head teller opportunities. You learn so much with assisting member, in addition to assisting members as a regular student teller. So we did list out some responsibilities that the head tellers take care of for us. They are required to balance the entire branch daily. So whereas other students are only responsible for themselves, these head tellers are responsible for other students and the branch as a whole. And how they do that is they do check reports daily. They are responsible for printing them, counting cash in the branch, and making sure everything matches to a T. They do coach team members on errors and areas of improvement. So this can be in-person coaching, helping others understand what they're doing wrong, allowing others to look up to them and ask them questions. And they may also send emails, just sort of friendly reminders of like, hey, let's make sure we're doing everything correctly. If you need help, let me know. They do conduct team meetings monthly. It's not always strictly business. We like to create an environment where we can have fun at work too. So we have holidays that come up. They might choose to highlight some people's birthdays, you name it. These team meetings are great opportunities to get to know each other. Not a lot of students have this opportunity, and these kids go through this together, and they might be in this program for multiple years, so they really build that bond. They also ensure Addition Financial is aware of school events on campus, and they make sure that others volunteer or someone represents us at that event and try to market accounts for us.
Yeah, and another head teller responsibility too, actually, is they are the main liaison between Addition Financial and their school. So really, like if there's a new promotion coming out for the students on campus, the high school support team will reach out to the head tellers, like, hey, we have a promotion coming. This is what it's going to be, and they really rally their team together. I got to tell you about these team meetings are actually pretty fun. I've had the opportunity to attend a few of the high school branch team meetings, and every school is completely different, but it's a fun environment. Lots of bonding, lots of team building activities are done, lots of planning and strategizing about, hey, this is the school year, this is what we do on campus. How can we talk to, whoever we want to discuss or whatever. So they really make it a focal point where the branch this is their branch and they operate it that way. All right, so let's dive into some of the high school products and benefits. The high school accounts come with a traditional savings account. So the savings account, this is where at a credit union, you open a savings account, and this is what holds your membership here. You are a member of the credit union. There is an optional checking account with a high school mascot debit card. So all of our high school branches have their own design for their debit card, and they're all pretty cool. It has your mascots on there in different colors. The really cool thing too about the debit cards, while I'm talking about this, is they're school district debit cards. So we have a program where whenever your card, you sign after you use your card, you swipe it or you dip it, whatever you do with your card, we will donate 3 cents per transaction back to your school district. So, Orange, Seminole, Osceola, whenever these cards are used in wherever you make your purchase, and you swipe your card, sign for your transaction or dip your card, we will definitely make that donation to the school district. We cut them a check every year and it's like, hey, this is the result of everyone using the card for this program. So it's really cool. And the card is personally for you, easy access for you to utilize your card. No parent or guardian is required on a high school account. So it gets you an opportunity to start learning your finances early, get you ready for your next step. When you graduate and you're ready to go to college, you already have that knowledge of how to utilize a debit card, how to balance your checking account, how to make sure that you have the money you need before you spend it. And really cool about our accounts is there's no minimum balance requirements on our accounts. One more thing about the debit card, let me roll back to that really quickly, is ATMs. So you can use on our debit cards any Addition Financial ATM machine, any branch, any location of where we are. You can also even use Presto machines at Publix for free. So it's important to know that when it comes to the high school branch accounts, that only students who attend the 10 high schools with our branches on campus qualify for our high school account products. So, and also if you wanted to be a student teller, you have to attend that school that we have a branch located at. In this photo, this is one of our branches where the students all have a t-shirt, and it's just, that's that bonding that we're talking about. You really become a family, just like when you're working in your department or you're working in your store, if you guys already have jobs, you really get to know your team members and you become a family.
It's awesome because we come in training every year and some of these students have never met before. They may even be different grade levels because you don't necessarily have to be in the same grade level to be in the same class period with this course. So it's always nice to see how that bond grows and they get to know each other.
Absolutely. And even bringing it full circle, at the end of the program, so the program will run for the school year. So once you're accepted to the program, the beginning of the school year, you're trained. Then throughout the entire school year, you're practicing, you're doing your transactions from members, like Taylor had mentioned, whether it's deposit or withdrawal or whatever the case may be. You learn how to open accounts, you're servicing members with whatever their inquiries are. You go through the school year where you're helping, you're doing a presentation or talking or teaching. You really learn a lot at the end, and I love the feeling I get when I see one of our past student tellers come back to us at the end. They're like, I want to work here while I go to college, or I want to pursue this full time. So
Okay, we're going to have a brief intermission to review the questions that have come in, and we'll return in just a moment.
All right, and we're back. Thank you guys for holding and enjoying that break with us. All right, so we did get quite a bit of questions. So I'll just go ahead and dive right into the first one. There's a question that says, do you visit high school classrooms to discuss financial and career goals and planning? Yes, we do actually visit classrooms upon a teacher's request. We have done that numerous times. I mean, they'll, send us an email. I believe there's also a link on our website that you can submit for someone to come into your class and talk to your classroom. So we do that. We'll discuss, a certain topic. Typically, we leave it in the teacher's hands. Is there a topic that you want us to discuss with your class? And if it's about, the difference between a debit and a credit, or check-in, or just talking about savings in general and budgeting, we've definitely done that, and we actually enjoy doing those conversations. One of the other things that we do too, just to piggyback on that, is an event called Mad City Money. Mad City Money is a budgeting simulation to where when we do it in person, what we do is we'll go to your gym and we'll set up like 10 tables of life, right? Every table is a different financial decision that you have to make. There's a table for real estate where you got to buy a home, a table for where you have to buy a house, and you're given a persona as to where you've graduated college, you have a career, and now you have to budget and plan for your family. So it's a really fun event. It really touches a lot on like budgeting and making decisions. You're paired up with a partner, and it's just really fun to hear, at the end where it's like, oh my gosh, no, let's not spend our money on that, or no, let's buy this instead. So you're put in the shoes of your parents for a little bit, and you're building out your budget for the month when it comes to Mad City Money.
Yeah, so not only do we get to visit the high schools upon request, sometimes if you attend one of our high schools that we have a location at, we have student tellers that are already in our program that also reach out to other classrooms that they have or teachers that they may know. And they go up in front of the class and they talk about the benefits of having an account with us. And if you guys have any questions regarding that, they try to answer those the best way they know how. And if not, they get back with you. They can talk to some of their clubs that they're involved in. You name it, you may see us in different spots around campus. So you never know who you'll get. Might be a student teller, it might be one of us, depending on who requests it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so another question is there an age requirement for the program?
Yeah, no age technically, but we usually have tellers from grade levels 10 through 12. And the reason why I say 10 is because a lot of our high schools have certain curriculums that they have to take, or maybe business tracks, career paths, I should say, where their 9th grade year, they're taking a prerequisite class. And then after that's over with, then they get the opportunity to apply an interview with our program and with us at Addition Financial, and they move on from there.
Absolutely. Another question is, how can I get a debit card? I already have an account with you. So if you already have an account with Addition Financial and you don't have a debit card, you can actually visit one of our full service branches and they can print the card for you right then and there. There's no need to wait for that. You can also call in. There's our phone number right here on the screen. You can call into our contact center, and you can also order a debit card to be mailed to your home address.
So if you're looking for the high school benefits, make sure you tell them, if you go to a regular branch, what school you attend to see if you're eligible for our high school checking account. Then you get all those high school benefits with your mascot on your debit card and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And we also have too, like if your school is not a part of our program, we have debit card designs for, I believe it's every high school in Orange, Seminole, and Osceola. So those debit card designs are there and they're available. And those cards do attribute to the school spirit, where we donate the 3 cents per transaction back to your school district. So you're giving money back to your schools. Another question we have here is, how long is training?
Forever. No, it's ongoing learning all year long. So you never know what you'll learn in the program, but really we get started within the first 1 to 2 days of school starting. So this year we're doing 3 weeks of training, all hands on with one of our team members from Addition Financial. So they go out there, they have everyone each class period. You work and you train with our system directly. So we provide materials. We've worked really hard on ensuring that we have these things on hand for you for when we're not there training. But the first 3 weeks, all hands on deck, listening, learning all that you need to know, and then you do it yourself. And we're there for support, and we're here for any questions that you have. How do I apply to become part of the Addition Financial High School program? Things vary depending on what high school you attend. Usually throughout the year, you will hear multiple announcements being made, possibly towards the end of the school year, maybe over the intercom. Some schools have news that you watch, so you may see someone representing us on there asking. Coordinators that have a certain career pathway and certain classes that they pull from. So for example, if it's business related, so like accounting classes, type classes, things like that, those students usually get talked to about the opportunity and apply with that coordinator or those coordinators that are over that program. So for example, some students are in the Academy of Finance and they talk to those teachers specifically regarding that.
Yeah, one of our schools, there's a program called 3DE as well that a lot of our student tellers are come from that program where they apply to work inside the branch. Just remember though, when you apply, there are certain qualifications that's going to be required, ensuring you have good attendance, and you keep up with your grades, and if you're wanting to go out for that head teller spot, as we mentioned, the paid head teller position, just ensuring that, that is a leadership role. We're teaching you to be a leader. So there's another interview process for that one. But just ensuring that, you don't have too many after school, after-curricular activities that you have to do too, because, when you're working in the branch and in 7th period as the head teller, you're responsible to close out the branch. So you're the manager and you're closing everything out. So it's really exciting and it's a really cool opportunity too.
I know we talked about the 10 locations that we are at. I know someone reached out and was curious about Crooms Academy. We are not currently at Crooms. I never know what the future can hold, but right now we're working with the public schools in our local areas. So that school, not currently.
Right. I have another question here. What is included in the summer internship? So Taylor had mentioned earlier that our student tellers gets an opportunity to work in one of our full service branches or back office departments over the summer. So I believe that's a 6-week internship that is paid. And they work inside the branch and they get to learn even more than what we teach them in the high school branch program, because you're seeing it all full service, you're seeing different transactions that we're not able to do at a high school branch, and you just get the full picture, and in the department, if you work here in Lake Mary at one of our back office departments, you really get to see like the corporate life and working with different departments and interacting and communicating with different areas. Whatever your role is, you're definitely going to see, Addition Financial from a different standpoint. One of the things that I'm amazed about sometimes is that a lot of students don't really realize that even what we're teaching them is for the branch side, but we also have a back office side. Like there's an IT department that runs all of our communications. There's marketing, there's community engagement, like there's accounting, there's a contact center. And I think when they come here and they come to the back office, that their minds are blown. It's like, wow, okay, so I can work at a credit union, but be an accountant? Absolutely.
To piggyback on that idea, a lot of students that come out of our program are like, what if I don't want to be in the financial industry or banking? We would love to have you, but this does go on your resume and we're always here for you and your experience. Touching on those different departments and things like that, you have hands-on experience with all sorts of things that relate to all different parts of life and careers. So don't worry, this will definitely help you get where you want to go in your future.
Yeah, and actually to piggyback on that, I've heard a story of a past student teller who graduated and wanted to go to medical school. And this is on her resume. She also put it on her application. And this program, and on her application put in Addition Financial on there. She's a student teller and all the experience she gained. In her interview with the dean at the college where she applied to, he really made it a point to say, hey, your resume is very impressive. Can you talk to me a little bit more about the business side of things? I know you're applying for medical school, but tell me more about what you learned here as a student teller. And, she was amazed, like, oh, wow, that was business and this is medical school. But hey, I mean, they still wanted to know, and just being well-rounded too. It helps round you out.
The biggest thing is we're here for you. We like to help you stand out and have that opportunity. Some students we don't see immediately after high school, but we're always in the back of their mind and they come back to us. So some people start working for us years later when they get out of college because we were there for them first. And it's just awesome that we have that first touch in the financial world with a lot of students. So if you've never had your bank account, things like that, whether it's your first job experience or first bank account, we're there for you.
And the last question that I have here is, how do you market on campus? I know earlier we spoke about marketing, and the student head tellers were helping to promote our accounts and stuff like that. Announcements, the school announcements. Sometimes we'll have them put our announcement on there. We have tables on lunches, during lunches. We also have an event at each of the schools called Addition Financial Day. So I know during the presentation, we had a photo of in the courtyard outside where there was a table and some goodies, and even like a prize drop. And, we even go as far as having music sometimes just to make it a little fun and enticing for people to come over and speak with us. But Addition Financial Day is a really fun way to market and promote the credit union, promote financial literacy, and really just dive in and just help our students understand about obtaining your own account now, learning the valuable skills that you need for the future, and just starting now. And we're here for you, and we answer questions. We'll talk to you. We can do one-on-ones. And Taylor mentioned before, like we've had where if someone comes into the branch and they ask a question that our student tellers don't know, they reach out to us. They have a lifeline. They can contact high school support, and we will be able to help them with that financial literacy for the member too, if that's needed.
Thank you so much, Alicia and Taylor. This concludes our presentation tonight. Check your inboxes tomorrow for an email containing a link to tonight's recording. And thank you all again for joining us. Have a great evening.